Nobody has this Mark Shiny. When I say these words, the first thing most people think of is probably a shiny with the 1 in 1,000 rare mark. Well, you thought wrong. The mark I'm talking about should be common, but it's so obscure, it's hard to even find a shiny, let alone a normal Pokemon with it. This mark is none other than the Misty Weather mark. A mark normally impossible to get simply because Misty Weather just can't happen in Paldea. Despite the absence of mist in the base game, there is actually one very specific place that has Misty Weather, which most players would never even think of going to normally. In this video, I'll be taking on the challenge of not only finding the Misty Mark, but getting a shiny Pokemon with it as well, all while showing exactly what you can do to get a Misty Mark Shiny of your own. First and foremost, marks are essentially ribbons that can appear randomly on most wild Pokemon, and they add a cool little title to your Pokemon every time you send them out. These marks have different chances of being on a Pokemon based on what kind of mark it is, and in the case of the Misty Mark, it's a weather mark. Weather marks on average are on 1 in 50 Pokemon. However, only Pokemon that are inside of a specific weather condition can get the corresponding weather mark. So what exactly makes the Misty Mark so much rarer than the other weather marks? Well, unlike how in Sword and Shield, Misty Weather can be found just like any weather condition, in Scarlet and Violet it's much different. Firstly, the Misty Mark can only be obtained in the DLC, in Kitakami, which means it's effectively locked behind a paywall. Secondly, the Misty Weather condition doesn't just randomly appear in Kitakami's areas. Instead, it only appears once your player tries to go over the rocky wall surrounding Kitakami. Now, you can probably see why I said no one has this mark, since the way to get it is so specific. Now, since we know how to actually get the Misty Mark, it's about time we look into shiny hunting a Pokemon with it. The discovery of finding Pokemon with the Misty Mark was by Twitter user Tate, who wrote a phenomenal write-up about the different locations they found to spawn Pokemon in Misty Weather. The link to this write-up is in the description below. Now, this write-up is a bit outdated due to the addition of Flight from the Indigo Disc DLC. However, we'll go over that later, and focus on the spots you can use even if you don't have flying unlocked. Out of the 7 locations Tate listed in their write-up, I decided I want to hunt using location 5, as it is by far the easiest and fastest way to spawn Pokemon in Misty Weather. Other locations are much harder to use. For location 5, all you need to do is hop up on this small little cliffside and bam, Misty Weather. The way you know Misty Weather is actually active is by checking the top right of your map, which should show the Misty Weather icon. Out of all the Pokemon that can spawn in this location, I decided I want to go for Ralts, since I find the Misty Mark to be fitting for the kind of Pokemon it is. Location 5 also has the added benefit of having the ability to have mass outbreaks right in front of it, which I used to my advantage and got an outbreak of Ralts. Another important thing to note is that if you're in a section of the Teal Mass story that locks your time of day and weather, you can't get Misty Weather to occur, so make sure to progress through the story before you try this hunt. For the absolute best possible chance at finding a Misty Mark Shiny, you'll want to have the Shiny Charm, the Mark Charm, a Mass Outbreak with 60 Pokemon KO'd, and Sparkling and Tidal Power 3 for the type you chose. These all stack up to give you approximately a 1 in 4,270 chance at finding a shiny with the Misty Mark, which, yeah, it's still pretty brutal. Because I'm lazy and didn't complete the Paldea or Blueberry Academy dexes to get the shiny or Mark Charms, I have a 1 in 8,526 chance of finding a Misty Mark shiny. Anyway, I start by slaughtering the local population of Ralts to boost my shiny odds, like any humane person would, of course. After that, it's as simple as making a Psychic type sandwich to boost my shiny and mark odds even further. The cliffside you have to hop on doesn't really allow you to despawn Pokemon, so you'll have to hop down and enter a picnic, leave it, and then hop back up on the rock as fast as possible. Now, the generation of weather marks aren't actually based on where the Pokemon spawns. Rather, it's based on what weather the player is currently standing in. The faster you get into the Misty Weather, the more Pokemon you'll have spawn with the chance of having the Misty Mark. You see, I didn't really get to practice my cliff jumping skills very much though, because the game had other plans for me. So I think that... Oh, damn, alright, already? Okay. Not marked, unfortunately. I literally, it's been a minute. First shiny Ralts. Yeah, so that was probably the fastest shiny I've ever gotten in this game, but unfortunately it wasn't marked, so we get to move on. Finishing up that first sandwich, I only got that one shiny Ralt. So I reset the game and moved on to the next sandwich. Literally 3 minutes into the second sandwich, I found my second shiny. Oh, shiny. Let's go. Oh, it's marked. Maybe? Second phase? I don't know though, because the jumping that it did on the rock wasn't that great. Looking back at the clip, the Ralts definitely spawned while I was in misty weather, but the chance that it has the Misty Mark on the second phase is so low. What mark does it have? Yes! Oh, that's so cool. Oh man, that's so that's so cool. Second phase, what? Yeah, okay. I'm out here casually hitting a 1 in 8,000 chance on my second try. Trust me, I've seen other people on YouTube going many phases for this mark, and I got it on my second try. But anyways, not wanting to waste any of the time on my sandwich, I headed over to location 6, with my eyes set on a Misty Mark Indeedee. Shortly into trying it, however, I was really regretting my decision. Please let me go to this. Oh my god. It's Rulage, I swear to god. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I decided not to listen to the difficulty warning of the write-up and continue getting mad at failing the climb. However, my efforts weren't in vain. Oh, shiny, shiny, oh my god. What the heck? I don't even know if it's marked because I've never caught an Indeedee before. Holy crap. 22 minutes left on the sandwich. Holy crap. Unfortunately, it didn't have the Misty Mark, and it also was the only other shiny I found during that sandwich. With everything now all wrapped up, I evolved my Misty Mark Shiny Ralts all the way to a Gardevoir. Man, I'll never not like this shiny. It's just so good. Here's the Indeedee as well, just for fun. Yay, Indeedee! Woo! Now, earlier in the video, I mentioned how the write-up was outdated due to the addition of Flight in the Indigo Disc, and I'd like to talk to you about that now. With the ability to fly unlocked after you beat the Indigo Disc story, it opens up endless potential spots to hunt Misty Marked Pokémon. There are many different ledges you can actually stand on now that were previously inaccessible, and the way to actually hunt changes quite a bit. Simply flying all the way up then back down doesn't despawn Pokemon, so you actually have to fly up and away from the hunting location. Then once you're far enough to despawn the Pokemon below, fly back to the location as fast as you can. You'll see that Pokemon should start popping in while you're standing on your location, and they all should have the chance at having the Misty Mark. I'll go over some locations that I found that are my personal favorites for hunting. There's these two ledges in Fellhorn Gorge and the Timeless Woods that you can fly between to easily spawn Pokemon. For some reason above Wisteria Pond, there's misty weather all the way above the pond, which allows you to get Misty Mark Lotad, though it is a bit tricky to try and actually stay in the mist. If you fly far enough above this section of land in the Mossville Confluence, you can hunt the Ghastly line with Misty Marks at night. In fact, this entire stretch of land can be misty weather if you're high enough. You just need to stay close enough to the boundary for it to work. There's an absolutely insane amount of spots in the Timeless Woods you can try, and funnily enough, when I was trying them, I actually got a full odd shiny Grubbin. Similarly to Wisteria Pond and the Mossville Confluence, flying high enough above this section of land in Fellhorn Gorge can let you hunt Pokemon down below with Misty Marks. I again got another full odd shiny while testing out locations here, and this time I actually have a reaction to it. And no, I don't understand my luck. Oh my god, no way. Shiny full odds Duskull? I was recording B-roll, what the frick? Okay, thanks game. In the Paradise Barrens, there's a spot that lets you hunt many Misty Marked Pokemon that you weren't previously able to on Tate's write-up. Lastly, there's a spot in Fellhorn Gorge that can let you hunt a level 100 shiny Misty Marked Magikarp, if you really want to do that for some reason. Those are only some spots I found, and it's far from all of them. So if you find any yourself, feel free to leave a comment below sharing what you found. But that's pretty much it. I've successfully gotten myself a Misty Marked Shiny, so now it's your guys' turn. What once was a Marked Shiny nobody had due to obscurity, hopefully we can start to see more of these Misty Marked Shinies pop up around the internet. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like the video and subscribe, as it helps out a lot. If you'd like to connect with shiny hunters who have a similar passion to you, make sure to join my Discord server using the link in the description below. If you're interested in more cool Pokemon facts you may not have known, check out my video on why some shinies in Pokemon Sword and Shield are practically impossible to get. With that all said and done, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all later. Happy hunting.